when no one's around, when no one's looking at you, when no one's cheering. And just you and your shadow. Who are you? How do you hold yourself? How do you see yourself? What do you do when no one's watching?
When it gets heavy, don't wait to be carried. Carry the weight. It's in these moments of heavy weight that your character is revealed. When everyone else around you is tired, you be the one. You go first. Pick them up, carry the weight. Be the example.
There's a huge difference between fear and doubt. Fear is something that is necessary. Fear is what you must face. Doubt is about you. Everything that you doubt, you've created. Nobody else creates doubt. Fear is about pressure, and pressure is a privilege. If you're put under a pressure situation, that means somebody believes in you.
Anyone can be impressive for a season. Anybody can show up early for a little bit. But let me tell you, the people that I respect the most are the ones that just keep showing up in tired seasons, in overlooked seasons, in depressed seasons, in divorced seasons, in discouraged and misunderstood seasons, and they pick somebody else again season. And so I am not impressed with talent, I am impressed with consistency. Somebody that just keeps showing up without a lot of spotlight.
Those times where you get up early and you work hard, those times where you stay up late and you work hard, those times where you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream.
To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special.
Just keep stacking days. Just keep stacking days. As long as you keep stacking days, I promise you, you will see the change. My coach used to always say, everything that you want is on the other side of hard.
You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts.
If you can barely decide to take any action at all and peel your eyes away from your phone for just a moment, it's so much easier to beat everyone else, because in a world where it's never been easier to do nothing, doing something becomes extraordinary.
I just gotta tell you, you got to chase that dream before you die, man. You should go and live your dream. Just go see. Your real life is not in your current situation. Your real life is not in your paycheck. Your real life, he tucks it away in your imagination.
It's never gonna be easy. You're always gonna feel like you're f***ed up. You're always gonna feel like you're behind. You're always gonna feel like, maybe I'm not any good at this. But dude, if you keep showing up and you keep executing and you keep doing what you're supposed to do, the results will sprout and you will gain a little bit more confidence. But dude, even when you gain more confidence, you'll be at a new level. And when you're at a new level, guess what happens? All the same shit happens again. You doubt, you question, you're insecure, you push harder, you go to the next level. Just a repetitive cycle, dude. It's a hard life. It doesn't mean you're f***ed up.
Brother, if you want to move on from a failure, you have to forgive the version of you that didn't know any better. And if you did know better, then you need to forgive the version of you that was too broken to care. See, either way, it starts and ends with you. Knowing that, what's your excuse now?
I sacrifice everything what I have. I will sleep, train, eat, repeat, and that's it.
Obsession?
Yeah. I think it's not about DNA. I think more than blood, I think it's about mental, your brain, how you think about this. How there is like, you want this or no? There is not like 50-50. It's like, okay, I want this and I want other. You cannot, there is like not between. You have to be in somewhere.
It's black and white.
Yeah.
I think one of the hardest things to hear after you don't get your way is keep working. But it's also one of the only solutions to be successful. You're not going to get your way most of the time in your life. Just keep working
Hard work pays off, no one tells you when. You'll never know the true feeling of accomplishment if you've never faced a setback. You'll never know the true meaning of confidence if you've never had to bounce back from anything. Just keep working. You're not getting what you want, keep working. You are getting what you want, keep working. One thing's for sure, overthinking's overrated.
For every time you set your alarm and then sleep in, someone else is obeying it. For every time you say you should go to the gym but then don't, someone else is breathing heavy. For every dish that you should wash but instead let pile up in the sink and become a headache for later, someone else isn't compelled by the same laziness. I know this because that someone else is me. Every decision you make is an opportunity to build respect for yourself. And every opportunity that you pass up on is just another piece of evidence that you are not the person you say you want to be.
We let our feelings dictate what we do. And we have to do the opposite if you want to change. You have to lead with the actions that align with the way you want to feel after you've done the actions. You have to take action first, because if you allow your feelings of, I'm tired, I don't feel like it, it's hopeless, why bother? That feeling will dictate you doing nothing. And that's going to keep you on the right side of that page. If you just look at that list that you created of all the things that you know you should be doing that would just uptick your happiness slightly or make you slightly healthier, slightly this or slightly that, then act like the person on the left-hand side of the page. And then every time you take that action, your feelings will fall in line and you'll start to feel more like that person.
For you to constantly win this voice over here, the real you, is saying, get the out of here. Though, you're nobody. You've always been nobody. And it's true. People don't hear that. That's the true voice. That's the real reality of David Goggins at 24 years old. It's not a false reality. And then you had to create another voice over here that is saying you're better than that other voice. And you're in the freezing cold water that both voices don't want to be in. But you win. And goes from the water to the study, to the running, to the losing weight, to how you eat, to how you function as a man. Every day of your life, you're winning these battles.
You have a choice. You can go for it. Or you can just watch it go by. But I'll tell you this. Failure only exists in the heart that doesn't try. Don't be the person that lives but never feels alive. Be the person that knows the sky isn't the limit because they wasn't afraid to fly. You might not be in control of how you die, but I promise you, you're in control of how you live.
There's 3 decisions you're making every moment of your life. You're making it right now. Everyone's listening is making these 3 decisions. You might be making them unconsciously, so then your life is driven by the environment. First decision is, what are you going to focus on? Are you going to focus on what you have or what's missing? And if you're focused on what's missing, that can make you grow. But if that's what you focus on continuously and you add one more pattern, it'll create frustration, anger, sadness, or even depression. And the second pattern is, which one of these do you more? Do you focus more on what you control or can't control? If you go in a pattern of focusing on what you can't control and what's missing, the stress inside of you is always going to be there. Because think about it. There's plenty of things that aren't missing, and there's plenty of things you can control. But when you're focused on what I can't do and what's missing from my life, there's an emptiness. Now, here's the third one. Do you tend to focus more, and we do all 3, but more on the past, the present, or the future? If you're focused on what I can control, what I already have that's beautiful in my life, and what's happening right now that's beautiful, or what I'm going to create, you're not going to have that level of stress. You'll still have problems, but you're not going to have the anger or the sadness or the overwhelm.
It's never too late. If you're alive, you can get better. If you're alive right now, you can improve your condition. You can improve your situation, and it starts with improving the way you think. That's the most important thing. The way you think of things, the way you think of things, the way you address things. You've got to change that.
There's a place in your heart where your dreams live and your intuition thrives. So hold on to your dreams tight and realize, I know it sucks, but realize that you might have to move in some silence for a while. And that's the most courageous thing that you can do, because you're choosing to listen to that deepest part of you rather than the noise and the doubt, the people that you thought that you trusted.
Most people don't change. They live the same 6 months of their lives 100 times in a row, and then they die. They go to the same places, they make the same jokes, they tell the same stories, they work the same job, and then they die. And it's all because they were never willing to be uncomfortable, because they were never willing to change. And a lot of people get really uncomfortable when I talk about this, but most people are average. The average person stays stuck in the same patterns. And so if you want to have a different outcome, you have to walk a different path.
So you have a goal, a vision, and for whatever reason, you can't bring yourself to do the things that you need to do in order to get there. And it's not like the things that you need to be doing are difficult in any way or are a mystery, you know? Like, everyone knows what to do. So it's not a matter of how, it's a matter of will. Where do you find the will? Evidently, it's not going to be motivation, because motivation doesn't trump laziness. So what needs to change? How do we find the will? Many of us are too focused on everything that's going on out here, external factors, right? And when the physical world doesn't reflect what we want in our minds, it leaves us frustrated and confused and exhausted and discouraged and a whole bunch of other things that no one wants to feel. Whereas what needs to happen is we need to embody the person that we want to become on the inside. We need to adopt their mindset. We need to adopt their mental framework. We need to replicate their behaviors. And naturally, the physical realm will kind of just reflect that.
Your family and friends may not get it right now, and that's all right. They're gonna ask questions, they're gonna make fun of you, and that is okay, because you're gonna make them understand. You're gonna make them understand by going out and getting the result you want. They're gonna understand real quick when you have the body they want, the bank account they want, the car they want, the house they want, the family they want, the life they want. It's gonna go from why are you doing that to how did you do that? You can try to convince them all you want, you can talk to them until you're blue in the face, but the fact is, the only thing that's really gonna convince them that what you're doing is right is when you get the result. Nothing you can say to these people, no amount of convincing is going to speak louder than you having an undeniable stack of evidence that shows exactly why you're doing what you're doing.
You forgot who the f you are, bro. You got so caught up in other people's opinions and the way the world looks at you that you forgot what got you here in the first place. Forget everybody else, bro. Forget the crowd, forget the clubs, forget whatever it is. You have nobody to prove anything to except yourself. You don't have as much time as you think, bro. Before you go, let me show you something. You see this guy? Remember what he said. Nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward, bro. Keep moving forward.
Never complain, never explain. And what it means is, don't complain about life. Don't explain what you're doing or why you're doing it, just do it. By whining and complaining, all you're doing is making people think bad things about you, looking weak. And when you complain a lot, you have a mindset where everything is kind of a potential complaint. Stop whining and stop explaining yourself and just do things in the world and let your actions speak for themselves.
I think whenever we're going through a hard time, we just want it to end. But it's those moments that allow us to appreciate the good ones.
Do it sad, do it angry, do it heartbroken, do it miserable, do it excited, do it energized, do it happy, do it tired, do it confident, do it discouraged. Do it anyway. However you gotta get it done, make sure it gets done. That's what separates the winners from the losers. That's what separates those that get what they want from those that only talk about what they want. So whatever you gotta do, get it done.
The only thing standing between you in the life you want is committing to the process longer than anyone else is willing to. You don't need every answer. You just need the discipline to face what's in front of you, day after day, hour after hour. Will it feel impossible at times? Absolutely. But it's in those moments where you rise above your doubts that you begin to create something special. This isn't about being ready. It's about being relentless. You got this.
The universe only gives us what we think we're worthy of receiving. So then people who show up for themselves every day, they start feeling pretty damn worthy. Like, they're like, I'm worthy for this. Not like an entitlement way, like something, they just like, I feel like it's gonna happen. I'm worthy for it.
You're not ready for what you want until you believe you can get it. All things are possible if you believe.
And you get it when you believe it. You get it when you believe you have it. And that's the key. It's like people still, they sit around going, when's it gonna come? When's it gonna come? When's it gonna come? When's it gonna come? And that's the wrong way. You have to go, it's here, it's here, it's here.
When you really get this, your future for the most part is not consciously created, it's unconsciously remembered. Because you're actually being informed by something that you're still hurt by. And as a result of not accepting where you've been, you're gonna have a concern for where you're going.
And I will show you how I will. So for me, it burns. And I will not stop until I win.
So I do these things. I always had this saying, why be normal when you can be the best? So when I do my things, I don't want to be normal. For me, normal, it doesn't exist. I want to make the difference. And when you make the difference, you are being the best. So for me, it's a challenge. So in reality, I'm fighting against myself, not against the other ones, because I want to be the best version of myself and take myself to limits and try myself. That's the purpose, and not be compared with other ones, because I don't compare myself with nobody.
You only need two things in this life: clarity on your goals and an unwavering commitment to make them a reality. Show yourself that you're capable of doing something that's worth doing. Push your limits and improve fundamental aspects about who you are. Build something meaningful. Live a life that makes you proud. Most people never make any progress because they spend too much time learning and not enough time taking action. Show them you're different. Be so consistent that people think you're crazy, and watch how your life will change.
In order to achieve the future you aspire, you must be willing to walk away from the present that you desire. I cannot achieve the future I aspire to unless I'm willing to give up the things that I desire right now.
You are responsible for the things that happen in your life. You're the agent of what is good and what is bad. And when something bad happens to you, your natural tendency will be to look out in the world and blame this person, blame your mother, your father, your wife, your boss. But in fact, there's always a kernel of yourself that is to blame for what happened.
I may not understand the situation that I'm going through, but it's not my job to understand it. It's my job to embrace it. There is a big difference. I think a lot of people fall into the trap of always trying to understand what's happening to them instead of just embracing it, right? Because when you try to understand things that are not meant for you to understand, that's where a lot of unease comes from. That's where a lot of suffering comes from. But when you just shift into the mindset of, I'm going to embrace everything that comes into my life with an open mind, an open heart, a positive perspective, then you can really extract the lessons and the wisdom and the growth from that situation.
If you will change, everything will change for you. Wow, I took that to heart. And sure enough, the more I changed for the better, the more I changed from having a poor day to a good day, from lack of discipline to discipline. The more my life changed, my income changed, everything changed.
It's scary because it's unfamiliar, not because you're incapable. All the worry, all the nervousness, the concern, it means that you care in ways that you never have before. And if you care, then it's worth following through. Don't shy away from the challenge, don't play small. Lean into the growing pains and give yourself grace as you become someone who's done things that you've never done before.
The
yes to the adventure. Like, life is an adventure. Say yes to the adventure. And the adventure might be, you know, I'm gonna take the path least traveled. The adventure might be, I'm gonna quit my safe job and go do this thing that I've been meaning to do and wanting to do, that I've been called to do, that I feel like I have a duty to do. Because life is a journey, it's an adventure, it's an experience. And if you wanna grow old and have stories to tell and experiences to share and wisdom to bestow onto others, it's not just a matter of age, because someone who gets old but has played it safe has no wisdom, has no stories. And so I say yes to the adventure.
My definition of happiness is really getting up every day, going from thing to thing to thing that you absolutely enjoy and get energy from, right? And that is easier said than done, because it requires you to spend a lot of time understanding you, understanding the things that are taking energy from you, and then putting in the time and effort to evolve or change them so that they deliver energy rather than pull from you. But it's really, truly where you're going to find true happiness.
So many people say they want a big life, but very few people are willing to do the work that it actually takes to get there, to build the skill. I just became rather fascinated by that. Anybody want to know what is it? Yeah. It's this thing called fortitude. It's when you have courage to make the call that could change it all, to show up big, and resilience to make it happen. It's a next level of your emotional mastery.
Something shows up in your lifetime and you are ignoring it, you are avoiding it, you're trying to run away from it, and you face it. You face the anger, you face the fear, you face the jealousy, you face the pain, you face what you don't like, you face the fact that you are out of your comfort zone. Why? Because you know that once you have overcome it and find a solution for it, it's solved for this lifetime.
If you tell your friend tomorrow, 9 a.m., I'm gonna meet you at the gym, you're gonna be at the gym at 9 a.m.
Just because you don't want to let him down. But if you tell yourself tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm going to be at the gym, you're not going to show up. You're going to be late. Why? Because it's you.
It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem.
Successful people are the opposite of what most people are. Most people, they believe they gotta know everything before they go. Successful people understand that they will learn along the way. And so you have to realign your mindset. You have to be willing to step outside into an area you might not be an expert at. Take the initiative to start learning what it takes to be an expert at that. And then eventually you will make enough mistakes, you will do enough good things, you'll never become an expert, you'll never become a high earner, you'll never become one of these people that kicks ass by waiting to learn more information.
The great gatekeeper of your happiness is your mind. In being aware of what you are thinking at all times and how your mind reacts, in being able to have thoughts and then a step back and think about, why did I have that thought? What is your mind doing? That is the next level of awareness, that then now you begin to be aware of all aspects of your entire existence.
Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on the obstacles in the way of you doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Fantasizing about all of the adoration you'll receive once you do the thing isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing. And I love this insight that you can dress it up however you want. The work just needs doing.
You have to sacrifice. Greater the sacrifice, greater the reward. This is so true. So once you find yourself, you will find your creativity and you will find the true purpose. But first, you have to be willing to go through these sacrifices.
I'm gonna say this loud enough for the people in the back. You know when your life's gonna change? When you stop pressing rewind on the things that need to be deleted from your life. When you stop hanging on to the things that you know you need to let go of. Let me tell you this, moving on isn't always about knowing where you're going. It's about knowing where you're no longer stand and what you refuse to go back to.
You keep saying to yourself, I'm not ready to do that yet. If so, I want you to ask yourself, what would make you feel ready? Is there actually something specific that would help you to feel more prepared to do the thing that you need to do? Or are you waiting for something that's impossible? Are you waiting to be sure that you'll never make a mistake, that everyone will like what you do, that you won't experience uncomfortable emotions? So you're waiting for something that's impossible. I want you to ask yourself, how long am I willing to wait before I accept that this will never happen, and then I'm gonna do it anyways?
No matter how hard you try, you're not going to be liked by everyone. So just be you. If they like you, great. If they don't, even better. Embrace your uniqueness. It's your greatest strength. Because the only person you need to be in order to live your best life is yourself. And that's it.
How happy are you? Well, it's your quality of life minus envy. That's how happy you are. And it's easy to look at everyone else and how they're doing and not take pleasure in what you have. You can't have an easy life in a great character. It's not the pursuit of happiness. It's the happiness of the pursuit, the journey or the destination. It's who you become on the journey.
Like, we're all gonna go through a transitional period at one point or another in our lives, right? But the word that comes to mind when I hear transition is uncertainty, right? Uncertainty, transition, uncertainty. Faith functions best in moments of uncertainty, right? Faith functions best in moments of uncertainty.
Official, we are already halfway through 2024, and I know it feels like, but nonetheless, the question you have to ask yourself is, what have you accomplished so far? Have you made any progress towards the goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year? Do you even remember them? Here's a cold hard truth. If you can't point out at least 3 concrete actions you've taken to accomplish your goals in 2024, I'm sorry to tell you, but you've most likely wasted the first 6 months of the year.
I mean, just sitting around dreaming someday I'm gonna get a different job. Someday I'm gonna change this. Well, someday ain't a day of the week. You know, we don't leap tall buildings in a single bound. We take it a floor at a time.
It's yours. It's yours to drive. Get up in the morning, write down what you're gonna do in a day. Be happy on your way to your job, even if you don't like it. You gotta be happy on your way to happy. Don't think you're gonna get there and be happy. You carry yourself with you.
Go do something. Do the best thing that you can think of. Put the best plan you have into practice. It's not going to be perfect, and it will change along the way. But it will change partly because you become disciplined pursuing the path. And as you become disciplined, you become wiser. And as you become wiser, you become able to formulate better and better plans.
85 to 90% of life is just showing up. Show up. If you show up, there's a chance something could happen.
You have to make mistakes. You've been there, you feel it, you understand what it is, and then you have that time to adjust. That's why losing in life is so important. Whether it's getting dumped, getting fired, losing a game, loss. Those feelings where things didn't work out your way, that's important because it lets you know this is the bad feeling that comes when it goes wrong, and you improve, and then it makes the good feelings of victory all the better.
Are born into greatness, and all too often we get resigned into mediocrity because of the toxic information around us. And maybe it's the people around us, and maybe it's the information that we consume. Feeding your fire is the process and the habit of consistently only allowing the most useful information into your orbit. Feeding your fire is a protection mechanism or an idea, which is you can't inspire people if you yourself are de-inspired. Feeding your fire is all about doing whatever it takes on a daily basis, because your days are your life in miniature. And as you live each day, so you handcraft your life.
At the end of every day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I get better today? If the answer is yes, and you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better are you going to be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the question. And it's just taking small steps. You don't try to get it all done in one day, in 1 week, in 1 year. It's the process of getting better every day and doing that for a period of years that then create the masterpiece.
A few simple disciplines practiced every day. Eliminate the errors and replace it with disciplines practiced. I'm telling you, you can start this process of life change immediately. After today, you don't ever have to be the same again, only by choice.